Hello everyone, I'm glad you're here with me again. I'd like to talk this time about something that blew my mind. First of all, I'd like to disclaim that my profession is not a coach, with whatever this word means. Actually, my income from my coaching activity was less than 1% this year and the last year. My work is in artistic direction and in filmmaking and video production, but not in coaching. Now, sometimes I talk about things on screen that interest me, about human interaction, about conflicts between people, about narcissism, and all this comes from my background, my personal background, and also my acting background, where I studied dramaturgy and I studied psychodrama, so I can detect certain characteristics in human interaction. And I can point them out and find the relevant words in order to describe them. I might help some people and share my perspective, but my coaching is not my main activity. This is important because even when I talk about coaching, from my point of view, coaching or a coach is someone who achieved a lot in his profession throughout his life and reached that level that he can share the knowledge and he can share information because he knows the industry, he knows the profession, he knows all the challenges that result out of problems and problem solving that might trigger another problem. So when I talk about coaching here, like in football, like in basketball, it is a player who actually played and achieved a lot in the past and reached a level, a certain age or a level where he can share his knowledge and his insight with new players or with young people. But it's not someone who never achieved anything in this field, but he takes a course on how to become a coach, and suddenly he's becoming a coach. I'm aware of this phenomenon where many people take the money from their parents and register for a seminar or for a course or for a workshop of how to be a coach, and they create what is so-called coaching business, shamelessly. And many people fall for it. Of course, they work a lot on marketing, networks, and social validation in order to trigger that curiosity in people, in order for people to fall for it. And many people who are not conscious or people who are not professionals cannot detect such things. So it's easier for them to fall for it. I'm sharing this because recently I had this interaction with a young lady who came to me and said, listen, I have a very interesting person who's making coaching. Perhaps you'd like to use his service. Maybe he can inspire you with his coaching. So I told her, okay, show me his achievement. I know, he didn't create anything in nothing. He didn't create any project. He didn't create anything. He just took a seminar with Tony Robbins, and he had a certificate from Tony Robbins, and he's coaching. So I asked, okay, let's go on his website and see what's happening there. Of course, I immediately detected this whole thing, but I wanted to learn more, and that's what actually inspired this episode. We went on his website, and this is also what I prepared this episode about the methodologies of how those people lure others in. We are talking here about scamming techniques and con artists techniques. They are not the same. There's a difference between a scammer and a con artist. But in this case, in this person, he used really scam techniques and con artist techniques. Now, the difference between scammers and con artists is that scammers lure you in from your desires, from your curiosity, from your sexual attraction, from your need of social validation. And that's why, in this case, also on the person's website, he has a lot of sexy women as his assistants and his associates who coach people also. And I asked myself, this young actress, she says she finished acting school. And after I researched, She didn't really study acting. She learned a shortcut in some kind of workshop, institute, or whatever. But study is study. How can it be that now she's teaching acting? How can it be that that woman is teaching vocal coaching? Yeah, they're good-looking women. I have nothing against that. But between being good-looking and being an expert in your field who's able to coach and to teach your profession, there's a huge difference. Now, when I speak about professional, yeah, it's somebody who is capable of making a living out of his profession. So they need to be able to make a living out of their profession as achievers. And also, someone who has the methodology in order to pass that knowledge forwards, that profession forwards. That's why we call professeur. In French, it means teacher. So someone who has the methodology and someone who actually makes a living out of his own profession. Anyway, so on the guy's website, a lot of good-looking women, but I'm not here interested in social interaction or sexual interaction. I'm not interested in anybody flirting with me or anybody teasing me or anybody seducing me. I'm looking for a specific content. Of course, in that person's website, I'm not finding anything. But in general, as a client who's willing to consume any product or any service, I'm looking for the value and the quality of that service or of that product. I'm not looking to be socially validated. I'm not looking for empty promises, for dreams. I'm not looking for emotional satisfaction. I'm looking for the idea that that product or that service solves problems that I have. Anyway, I saw those scamming techniques where the guy's presenting good-looking women as coaches and as part of his team and as his assistants and so on. So he's also posting those networks and showing pictures of many people around him as if he's socially validated and he has a lot of friends, though every one of the people around him are doing the same thing. They also use this social validation need in order to get people curious, in order to get people engaged, in order to pay them for their product. So that people are not actually paying for coaching that solves problems as much as people paying for being socially accepted, for perhaps being able to be introduced to that woman. A conscious person is not interested in that. I'm interested in the product or the service. Anyway, this is the scamming aspect that the person used. Now, there's another aspect, which is the con artist aspect. Of course, some of you might know that con artist comes from the word confidence artist. It's self-explanatory, where people or the con artists lure you in from your trust of them. You trust them for a reason. Perhaps they look charismatic and they carry themselves very good. They look charismatic. They are dressed with a suit. They are looking from a certain shape, the face, perhaps a certain religion that appeals to you. Of course, academic degrees. I know someone in the past that uses doctor title. He has a doctor degree in math, but he used that doctor title also in order to coach. So he's writing on his door, Dr. So-and-so. So clients that come in order to solve problems that have to do with conflicts or with psychological issues or with emotional issues, because it's titled as Dr. So-and-so, so they assume that he's a doctor in that field, but he's a doctor in math. He has nothing to do with that field. He's conscious of using this for its psychological effect upon the clients, because he knows that in Germany, people worship academic degrees. You have an academic degree, people are willing to do whatever you want. Just because you have a doctor degree, you can buy it, you can do like this guy, use it in a different context. People still will not see the difference. They will trust. This is the idea of a con artist, that they trust because of something that they're programmed to trust. It can be a religion, it can be a race, an academic degree. In this case, the coach that I'm talking about in this episode he is using famous people. And this woman is telling me, yeah, but he has a certificate from Tony Robbins. As if it's Tony Robbins is supposed to tell me, yeah, Tony Robbins. What is... Now, regardless of my opinion of Tony Robbins, not relevant now. I'm aware of the public relations and the marketing machine and how many people are involved and the politics in the background and how many politicians are involved and how many celebrities are involved in order for such a phenomenon to emerge and to make money on different scales. But I'm not going to talk about it now because this is not relevant now. I'm talking about losers who use celebrity names, who are already in the beginning of their way, who have not achieved anything yet. Tony Robbins might have achieved things. I don't know. I was not there in the beginning of his way. But someone who has not achieved anything yet. It sounds to me like that story of a person who's telling the people in his country, if you send me €1 to this bank account, I'm going to tell you the secret of how to be a millionaire. And 1 million people sent him €1 to his bank account, and he told him, that's how you become a millionaire. So you need to scam 1 million people, everyone €1 in order to become a millionaire, and then you tell people that how to become a millionaire. So for Tony Robbins, I'm not going to tell if in the beginning people sent him €1. Then he started teaching people how to be like this and like that. Millionaire and quotations. So this person is coming to me, or this girl, that after that I realized that she's actually working with him and she's looking for clients. But seriously, are you coming to me? Haven't you seen my achievements, my self-made achievements, my sovereign achievements that have nothing to do with governmental funds, that have nothing to do with sponsorships, that have nothing to do with being dependent on families and parents and friends and sponsors and whatever? Sovereign achievements. Are you bringing this loser to portray him as he's somebody who's capable of what? Like, seriously, why? Why? Is his European facade is already presenting him as superior? As his born genius? Don't you see the difference between the qualities and the achievement? Just like this, a year ago, he took money from his mommy who financed his course with Tony Robbins. He's coming to coach people who went through a whole life of achievement. Why? Because he looks European? Because he's German? Or Dutch? I'm not talking about racism in the sense of right-wing racist people with sense of superiority. Those losers that don't achieve anything in their lives, so they like to be with each other in order to confirm their belief systems that they are good and others are bad. So they go in groups. Not about those right-wing racists. I'm talking about lefties, people who claim to be tolerant and liberal, but actually you can see what they think inside. So, I'd like to talk here about the people who like to consume those products, coaching or guidance, mentoring. The person who's guiding, the person who's coaching, the person who's mentoring is not supposed to be his full-time job. For sure, not someone who has not achieved anything in his life. Again, I'm aware that someone who has achieved a lot in his life, in business, in sport, in art, etc., reaches that certain age where he like to pass this knowledge forward to the next generation. I can understand that. But someone who's very young, who has not achieved anything, or someone who's old but not achieved anything, we need to be aware of those public relations techniques. And also, before we make a decision, we need to remember two things. First of all, I'd like to see an achievement. If there's no achievement, don't talk to me about it. First of all, bring the achievement. You cannot coach acting if you've never been an actor before. You cannot coach business if you never had your own business before. Coaching about relationships and conflicts, where someone has serious problems that take over their lives. He cannot handle their own relationships, but he can preach how to handle their relationships. Someone who's coaching something has to have, first of all, the achievement. Now, if you've not got to that level of the achievement, throw that person to the garbage. Now, in case you had an achievement, then we can talk about rating the achievement. First of all, we have to have an achievement. Then we can talk about rating the achievement to see the quality. If this person knows professionalism, precision, budgets in relevance to the final product, how he manages the team. But all that is being reflected by the achievement. So, first of all, it must be an achievement. Don't allow losers with no achievement to come to preach anything about anything. Neither those scammers that lure you in from public relations and the need of social validation and curiosity and sexuality, etc., nor those who are using their confidence and their trust for you to trust them. Trust the science. Trust my religion, the people from my nation, the people from my race. You allow this in, you'll be falling into the trap of a con artist. Problems will not be solved. You might be sold a dream, might be sold the illusion that problems might be solved, but you'll be living a lifetime in the wrong direction. I'm just trying to save time for those who don't know what the industry is made of and who would like to avoid falling into that trap, because this trap is easy to fall in, especially when you're not a profi. A professional can detect a professional and can detect a con artist and can detect a scammer. An unprofessional has difficulties to differentiate between them. He sees everything the same. So, and final message to the coaches, those coaches themselves. It's not worth it. Go make something with your lives. Go learn something before you start preaching and teaching. You need to work on yourselves. You need to create your own fingerprint. Not by teaching others, by you improve yourselves. Not by changing the world, by changing yourself, by learning a doctrine. I'm not talking about being like me who speaks 5 languages and playing music and creates. Not talking about, don't have to be like that thing. But at least learn a couple of languages in order to have some references, to see how other cultures think. You will find solutions in other cultures, different approaches, philosophies, with an open heart. Not with criticism and judgment, with an open heart. And of course, it would be good if you have also sport and music and art and you enjoy life. Work on yourself, improve, grow. And when you master a field, when you master a profession, work on it many years, achieve something significant, make your life work, and then in a certain time, you might be able to pass this knowledge to others. But before that, you have nothing to give. Besides giving yourself and taking from others for no exchange. So, there are no shortcuts. Thank you everyone for staying with me. I hope I could shed some light on this. Gladly. I would love to hear your opinion and to write your perspective and point of views so I can see if it resonates with you or if I'm on my own here. Okay. Thank you for being with me. I'm Shredy Jabarin. Ciao.